Hey, welcome to another great Waumba worship. And here's the point for today. God knows who we really are. Let's hear that again. God knows who we really are. And what do? A big Waumba. Oh man, that's so exciting. I almost fell off the steps. And you know why God knows who we really are? Because God, He's like the king. So let's get ready. Here comes the elephant. There it is! Oh my goodness, here comes the drums! About the Lord, the greatness of our God.
Let's sing about the Lord, the greatness of our God, for He's the King of everything. We're wild about His love and all that He has done, for He's the King of everything. I know God, I talk about Him every single day. I pray to Him at all times. He's the only way. I love Him, He loves me, no matter where I go. And everything I do will be for God and God alone. Let's sing about the Lord, the greatness of our God, for He's the King of everything. We're wild about His love and all that He has done, for He's the King of everything. I know God, I talk about Him every single day. I pray to Him at all times. He's the only way. I love Him, He loves me, no matter where I go. And everything I do will be for God and God alone. Let's sing about the Lord, the greatness of our God, for He's the King of everything. We're wild about His love and all that He has done, for He's the King of everything. Let's sing about the Lord, the greatness of our God, for He's the King of everything. We're wild about His love and all that He has done, for He's the King of everything. For He's the King of everything. For He's the King of everything.
Oh, wow! What a great song that is. Let's remember our point one more time. Our point is that God knows who we really are. And what do? Waumba. And today, I got not one, but two awesome Bible stories to tell you about how God knows us more deeply than we even know ourselves. So to get ready for those incredible stories, let's get into the Bible!
Makes me wanna jump, 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 jump. Makes me wanna sing hallelujah. It's the greatest good. Come and take a look. Makes me wanna shout, 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 shout. So
Thank you, everyone. Now, as we get into the Bible today, we're going to start off by telling you the story of someone named Jeremiah. Now, Jeremiah became a great messenger of God. In fact, there's a whole book of the Bible that has all of the messages from God that Jeremiah gave to the people. But Jeremiah became this messenger, what's called a prophet, in an amazing way. One day he was just hanging out, doing his own thing, and God came to him. And the very first thing that God said to Jeremiah is saying, I know you. I knew you when you were in your mama's womb, in your mama's belly. And even then, I had already picked you to become a great messenger of my love and my wisdom and my word and my justice to the people. And Jeremiah was like, who, me? I don't think so. And God goes, don't you understand? I know who you really are. I see in you strengths that you don't see in yourself. And I am going to lead you to become this great and powerful messenger, this great and powerful prophet. Now, that was not always an easy task, because sometimes God had to deliver some tough news to the people. Sometimes God needed to tell them, you need to straighten up. And if you don't straighten up, then bad things are going to happen. And when bad things are going to happen, you're going to know that you should have listened to what God was trying to tell you. So Jeremiah sometimes had to tell people things they did not want to hear. But God gave him the strength to do it, because God knew that Jeremiah had that strength, that God had planted that strength within him. And God knows who you are. God knows your gifts and your abilities and your talents more than you could ever imagine. Just the way that God did with Jeremiah. In fact, years and years later, when God decided to come to earth in Jesus of Nazareth, and Jesus loved us so much that he even died for us. And everybody was so sad that Jesus died. But there were certain of his followers, certain of his disciples that loved him so much that after he died, some of the others ran off and hid, and they were so scared. But they said, we're not scared. We're going to go to that tomb where they buried Jesus, and we're going to pray there, and we're going to be there with him. And there's things that we need to do to help his body to get whatever bodies need to get done, and we're going to do it. And those three people were three women. And because they showed up at the tomb that day, they became the very first messengers of the most amazing news in history, that Jesus had defeated death, that he rose again, what we talked about last week in the great story of E.C. Bunny, that Jesus had fought death and won. And the first people that shared it were these three women. They were all named Mary, ironically enough. I guess there were a lot of Marys in those days. And so that happened because God knew, even before they did, that God had picked them to be those messengers. And frankly, some of the other disciples didn't get it at first. They said, that can't be true. But they knew what they had seen. And so God knows who you really are too. Just the way God knew those Marys would be the ones that would be the first messengers, even though they didn't know it. The same way that God knew that Jeremiah would be a great messenger of God and a great prophet. And right now, you have talents and abilities that God is even now developing in you. And who knows what amazing things God will do in your life. And so know right now that God knows who you really are, and that God loves who you really are. That God loves you so very much. And even in these days when you're studying at home and doing Zoom classrooms and all these things, God is still working in your life to do in you amazing things. So remember every day that God knows who you really are. God loves who you really are. And that means if you know that you experience that love, you got to give it away. So let's remember our point one more time, and then let's give away the love. God knows who we really are. Waumba. And God knows that because God loves us. And let's take a moment to give away that love. Are you ready? Let's do it. All right. Here we go.
I'm feeling good, good, good in a crazy way. God's love changed me more than I can say. Can't keep
remember, God knows who we really are, and God loves who we really are. Waumba! I will see you here next week for another great Waumba worship.